McLaren CEO Zak Brown has been vocal about his belief that Formula One teams should have less influence in voting on the application of FIA rules. He has criticized the team principal meetings, describing them as pretty embarrassing due to the tendency of team representatives to vote for rules that provide short-term advantages for their own teams. Brown expressed his preference for a system where the ultimate decision-making authority and application of the rules rest with Formula One and the FIA. He argues that this shift would lead to a fairer and more consistent sport. In a media briefing at the British Grand Prix, Brown articulated his concerns regarding the excessive sway team principals currently hold in the decision-making process. He highlighted the inconsistent rulings that arise from these meetings, which he described as embarrassing. Reflecting on the penalties given to Lando, Norris and Max Verstappen after their incident at the Austrian Grand Prix, Brown questioned the current system. It does make you wonder, how did we go racing without any of this stuff for as long as we did and not have any of these controversies? Brown believes that the teams are often their own worst enemies, complicating matters unnecessarily. The teams collectively are pretty guilty of creating a lot of these issues themselves by overcomplicating what we want in race cars, what we want on regulations, he stated. He emphasized that the time spent debating minutiae often overlooks the unintended consequences. Brown reiterated his consistent view that teams should have less voting power. I'd like to see the teams have less authority, as much of a voice through voting for all these different things that we vote on. We're all conflicted in some way at some point, and the threshold for teams to be able to rally together to block something that is not in their interest is too low. He argued for returning more decision-making power to Formula One and the FIA, asserting that this would benefit the sport as a whole. I think we do need to give more of the power back to Formula One and the FIA to do what's right for the sport. I think we're our own worst problem. Brown acknowledged that implementing these changes would require revisions to the next draft of the Concord Agreement. However, he conceded that he might be in the minority with his views. Not everyone is on the same page, because they want to have the ability to influence the outcome, he admitted. It can be pretty embarrassing at times in the team principal meetings. Brown cited a specific instance to illustrate his point. When Lando was up on penalty points 2 years ago, we made our case that actually the majority of his penalty points weren't dangerous, and Otmar Savnauer of Alpine was totally against it because obviously everyone wanted to get Lando banned. Fast forward 12 months, Gasly's up against it. Otmar brings forward the same exact case that we brought forward, and we were like, dude, you voted against that. He didn't even know where he voted. In conclusion, Zak Brown's call for reduced team influence in FIA rule voting highlights the complexities and conflicts of interest that currently exist within Formula One. His vision for a fairer and more consistent sport involves empowering the FIA and Formula One to make decisions that prioritize the integrity of the competition over individual team interests.